Good afternoon, the most venerable Sada, respected Sada, teachers, and all Dhamma friends. Today, I am going to be presenting my PhD dissertation, an analytical study of Gochabu in Bali literature. This is my third seminar topic. So I will present my third seminar paper entitled Investigating the Essential Conditions for the Rising of Gochabu. Let me start. The research examined the conditions for rising of Gochabu, focusing on both general and specific conditions for its arising. The study investigates foundational factors such as triple-rooted person, the fulfillment of perfection's effort, avoidance of obstacles, and the influence of spiritual friendship. Additionally, it examines the conditions specific to meditative contexts, including tranquility, insight, and attainment of cessation, highlighting the intricate interplay of ethical discipline, mental refinement, wisdom required for Gochabu to arise. The research aims to fill a gap in existing scholarship by providing a systematic analysis of these conditions and their implication for spiritual progress. The methodology includes a detailed examination of primary sources such as Bali canonical texts, commentary and sub-commentaries, supported by secondary sources like academic analysis and teaching from renowned masters such as Lady Sada and Mahasi Sada, employing textual analysis, hermeneutics, and analytical approaches. The study investigates the synthesizing conditions for the rising of Gochabu, which serves as a critical juncture in attaining higher meditative absorptions and noble attainment. Introduction. The path of spiritual training expounded by the Buddha is the process of self-transcendence, culminating in complete emancipation of suffering. To embark on this journey, establishing a strong foundation for progress is indispensable. Within Buddhist philosophy, the notion of Gochabu is recognized as a profound transformative moment that directs the practitioner towards liberation. It represents the final preliminary Chavana moment, preparing the mind for deeper states of concentration and wisdom, while laying the groundwork for subsequent refined absorptions. Moreover, Gochabu signifies the transcendence of lineage, marking the transition from higher abstract demand unique condition for rising of this transformative moment. While the Theravada tradition offers detailed guidance on the practices of tranquility meditation and insight meditation, the precise conditions leading to the rising of Gochabu remain insufficiently understood. Despite its centrality in Buddhist philosophy, the conditions necessary for rising of Gochabu have not been systematically explored in existing scholarship. While Buddhist texts frequently elaborate on the meanings and function of Gochabu, there remains a lacuna in understanding the interplay of conditions that facilitate its arising. This study seeks to bridge this gap by providing a comprehensive analysis of the general and specific prerequisites for the rising of Gochabu. The research is guided by two central inquiries. One, what are the general conditions necessary for rising of Gochabu? Two, what are the particular conditions specific to meditative context, including tranquility, insight, and attainment of cessation? It is hypothesized that the rising of Gochabu is contingent upon the convergence of intrinsic qualities, external conditions, and deliberate meditative practices. Through an exhaustive examination, this study posits that the rising of Gochabu is a multifaceted process requiring the alignment of internal rebelliousness, and internal supporting factors, both of which are crucial within Buddhist practice. This research aims to identify and analyze the key elements that underpin the rising of Gochabu as presented in Buddhist texts and to elucidate their contribution to spiritual transformation. Additionally, it highlights the role of this knowledge in high absorption meditative state, which are integral to both samatha and vipassana. The findings are expected to provide the psychological framework for practitioners seeking to integrate this principle into their meditative practice. The study eroded in a meticulous examination of Pali texts, drawing extensively from canonical scriptures, commentaries, and sub-commentaries. Alongside textual analysis, it incorporates secondary sources including contemporary research and authoritative insights from traditional meditation teachers, including Ledi Sada, Mahasi Sada, Mingu Sada, and Nanda Malabiwasa Sada. The methodology employed include textual analysis, hermeneutics, and analytical approaches, collectively offering a comprehensive understanding of both theoretical and practical dimensions of Gochabu in the pursuit of liberation. This paper is structured into primary sessions. The first session meticulously examines the general conditions for the rising of Gochabu, including the role of triple-rooted person, the avoidance of spiritual obstacles, the past endeavors and perfections, the session of effort, and the influence of spiritual friendship. The second session explored the specific conditions for the rising of Gochabu in various contexts, including absorption, direct knowledge, insight, the attainment of cessation, and special cases. Let's move to the general conditions for the rising of Gochabu. The rising of Gochabu depends upon the confluence of various foundational conditions that prepare the mind for attaining transformative state. These conditions encompass a broad spectrum of ethical, cognitive, and spiritual factors, each playing the crucial role in aligning the practitioner's mental and moral faculty with the requirements for higher attainments. Central to this discussion are the general conditions that underpin the rising of Gochabu, including the presence of triple-rooted consciousness, past endeavors, and perfections, sustained efforts, the avoidance of spiritual obstacles, and the guidance of spiritual friendship. This session explores these essential conditions, elucidating their interplay in preparing the practitioner for the rising of Gochabu. Examining these general prerequisites provides deeper insight into the integrated framework of ethical conduct, mental discipline, and spiritual associations necessary for advancing on higher attainments. The role of triple-rooted person. The emergence of Gochabu is contingent upon the presence of three wholesome rules of non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, which determines a person's potential for spiritual progress. These three wholesome rules are required not only at the stages of practice of tranquility and insight, and the process of attainment of jhana, abhinyamaka, and nirodha samapatti, but also at the fundamental level of rebirth linking. This concept occupies a significant role in understanding the dynamics of rebirth and spiritual potential and requirement for the rising of Gochabu. The term Tihatika means triple-rooted, and Bhattisanti refers to the rebirth linking consciousness that connects one's previous life to the present existence. The verbal Bhikkhu Bodhi translated as triple-rooted rebirth consciousness. This term refers to the rebirth linking consciousness associated with three wholesome rules: non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Alternatively, it is the resultant consciousness that arises from wholesome action associated with three wholesome rules. The Chatta Sutta of the Samyutta Nikaya mentioned the term sapanyo. referring to the person possessing a kind of understanding or wisdom that is born of karma by means of rebirth linking of triple root cause. These three roots collectively ensure the rising consciousness and superior quality, leading to correspondingly higher results and enable the development of deeper understanding and spiritual progress. The Adukabhatisandhi is intricately tied to the performance of superior wholesome karma, a type of wholesome karma arising from the action done with a mind purified of defilements and supported by positive intentions before, after, and during the act. Such karma give rise to rebirth linking consciousness, accompanied by knowledge. With the presence of all three roots, especially the wisdom root, ensures that the mind is well equipped for higher attainment and realization of Nibbana. The concept of Tihaduka underscores the importance of root factors for higher attainments by fostering the mind rooted in non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. One can generate superior wholesome karma performed with a purified mind and accompanied by wholesome causes that lead to rebirth consciousness endowed with triple roots through an harmonious integration of merit cultivated via acts of merit. Moral observance and dedicated meditation practice. Individuals foster the wisdom and insight necessary for spiritual advancement. This dynamic interconnection between practice, merit, and wisdom highlights the indispensable role of Tihaduka in guiding practitioners toward higher attainment. Let's move to overcoming spiritual obstacles. This session will consider the obstacle and obstruction, the factor which can hinder the spiritual progress and liberation. These obstacles are seen as impediments to celestial rebirth and liberation. The first obstacle is karmic obstacle, or the obstruction by karma. This obstacle arises from the commission of 5 heinous crimes, also known as Anantariya karma, due to their immediate and grave consequences. These are including killing one's own mother, killing one's own father, killing an arahant, injuring the Buddha, and disrupting the unity of monastic community. These 5 heinous deeds, also called great karma, in the monastic research in rebirth in hell immediately after that. The heavy weight of these actions obstruct the merits accumulated through prior good deeds and generate rebirth in states of suffering. This principle is vividly illustrated in the case of Devadatta, who, despite possessing psychic power, lost them due to his grave misdeeds of bullying the Buddha and causing the schism in the Sangha. As a consequence, he was reborn in hell. Similarly, King Ajatasattu, though endowed with other prerequisites for reaching stream entry, were hindered by the weight of his heinous act of killing his father, King Bimbisara. Moreover, abusing a virtuous nun also obstructs liberation and jeopardizes the prospect of path and fruition. Hence, these 6 prides block both lateral rebirth and the attainment of the path and fruition. The second obstacle is defilement obstacle, which encompasses 3 categories of erroneous views that fundamentally reject the causal framework underpinning moral and existential processes. The first, moralism, a view that there is no good or evil, posits that actions lack intrinsic moral balance and do not yield corresponding outcomes. The second, materialism, the view of annihilation, denies the continuity of existence beyond death, asserting that there are no other consequences, good or evil, from actions. The third, fatalism, the view that volitional actions that call it diminishes the role of intentionality in generating happiness or suffering, suggesting they arise spontaneous and without cause. Collectively, these views reject the principle of causality. Akiriyaditi denies the effect have causes, Natikaditi denies the cause produce effects, and Ahetukaditi negates both. By undermining the causal nexus of action and consequence, These wrong views reject the foundational ethical and philosophical tenets of Buddhist thought. Individuals who steadfastly adhere to any of these erroneous views are categorized as holding steadfast wrong views. Such adherence is deemed to a definitive obstacle, leading to immediate rebirth in lower realms upon death. Furthermore, this view acts as barriers of achieving celestial rebirth as well as obstructing attainment of path knowledge and fruition knowledge, thereby impeding spiritual progress. The third obstacle concerns with the inborn deficiency or obstruction by the result of karma. This obstacle arises from one karmic inheritance, such as being born with a hetuka or dvihetuka condition. This deficiency hinders the development of jhana, path knowledge, and fruition knowledge, but not to celestial sense via rebirth. The fourth obstacle arises from inserting the noble ones, regardless of where one is aware of their virtues. Such an action severely hinders one's prospect of celestial rebirth and attainment of higher spiritual knowledge. A striking example in the case of Bhikkhu Kokalika, who, driven by envy toward two chief disciples, sought to malign their reputation. Despite being admonished by the Buddha on 3 occasions, he persisted in his action. Consequently, he succumbed to his karmic consequences, passing away at the gate of Chetavana Monastery and being immediately reborn in the Paduma Health. This incident serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of reverence toward the noble ones and underscores the karmic repercussions of one's action, speech, and thoughts. The final obstacle concerns with deliberate transgressions of monastic discipline. When monks knowingly violate the monastic rules, they create significant barriers to their own spiritual progress. Such violations reflect a lack of commitment to the discipline that forms the bedrock for monastic life, just as in the case of Bhikkhuni Ariyalila, who has been suggested by the Sangha, to the act of suspension for not giving up wrong view. This action hinders the attainment of the path and fruition knowledge. Additionally, the Avarana Sutta highlights further obstruction to spiritual progress as one is without faith, one is without desire, and one is lack of wisdom. In this context, being without faith refers to the absence of faith in the Chupachum as well as karma and its result. One is lack of desire means one is lack wholesome desire or inclination to perform meritorious deeds or engage in spiritual practices, just as the inhabitants of Uttarakuru, who are devoted at entering places devoid of such inclination. And one who is lacks of wisdom means one whose space of wisdom is underdeveloped. Consequently, these obstacles preclude individuals from attaining the state of unwavering certainty in wholesome phenomena, specifically the attainment of noble paths. These obstacles and obstructions to spiritual progress emphasize the moral, cognitive, and karmic dynamics that influence the journey toward liberation. The severity of this impediment from hidden karmic actions to defilement obstacles underscores the intricate relationship between ethical conduct, mental clarity, and spiritual attainments. Furthermore, inborn deficiencies in certain noble ones and deliberate transgressions for monastic discipline illustrate the diverse ways in which spiritual progress can be hindered. These obstacles serve as critical reminders of the necessity of unwavering commitment of virtue, faith, and wisdom. The teachings from texts such as Avarana Sutta highlight the essential quality of faith, wholesome aspiration, and wisdom as prerequisite for transcending these barriers and progressing along the noble path. Collectively, these reflections deepen the understanding of the ethical and mental discipline required for the cultivation of higher spiritual states and ultimate attainment of liberation. Let's move to path, endeavor, and perfection. This session explores the role of path, endeavor, and perfection. and essential qualities for reaching higher attainment, which are developed over countless lifetimes. They serve as the requirement for rising of virtue at different levels, whether in meditative absorption, direct knowledge, attainment of cessation, path, fruition, and nibbana. It also clarifies the reason why the Bodhisattva declared that attainment of Buddhahood. Firstly, past endeavors encompass a broad spectrum of prior virtual practices, spiritual cultivation, and attainments, including the rigorous practice of meditation, the mastery of jhana, and the acquisition of abhinyas. These achievements play the pivotal role in conditioning the present moment, functioning as Bhakatu Panisaya, a specific form of supporting condition that facilitates the rising of virtue. The influence of past endeavor is grounded in the law of conditionality, where actions and developments from previous assistance create the fertile foundation for subsequent spiritual progress. For instance, the successful attainment of jhana in prior lives not only cultivates refined mental discipline, but also reinforces the establishment of concentration in the present. Similarly, the development of abhinya, which are contingent upon advanced meditative state, strengthens the experience capacity to transcend ordinary cognitive limitation, thereby aligning the mind with the liberatory conditions required for the rising of virtue. Moreover, these past accomplishments are cumulative, contributing to the continuity of spiritual readiness. Such achievements do not dissipate upon rebirth, but instead remain latent, manifesting when the requisite internal and external conditions are met. This dynamic underscores the significance of sustained spiritual practice over multiple lifetimes, with each effort incrementally shaping the practitioner's potential for profound transformation. Secondly, professions are the equipment of merit and the equipment of knowledge joined together to form the requisites of enlightenment. The 10 basic qualities are cultivated in 3 levels, depending on one's spiritual aspiration and goal. Moreover, the perfections of the attainment of the Sammasambuddha, Paccekabuddha, Akasawaka, Mahasawaka, and Bhakatisawaka differ according to the faculty, the way of practice, and the skillfulness. Notably, the Bodhisattva is described as having already cultivated the perfection prior to receiving the rendition of the Buddhahood, rendering the attainment of the path and fruition possible in that existence. However, driven by aspiration for Buddhahood, his insight effort culminated at the 9th stage of insight knowledge, deliberately haunting further progression toward path and fruition. According to Mingun Sada, this intentional decision, rooted in profound compassion and skillful means, enabled the Bodhisattva to refine and perfect the highest parami over numerous lifetimes. Furthermore, the aspiration for Buddhahood serves as the foundational basis for all perfection, embodied in 2 profound objectives: the attainment of unparalleled realization of Buddhahood and the ultimate welfare of all sentient beings. This aspiration, therefore, constitutes the essential and primary cause for the comprehensive fulfillment of perfections. Establishing the Bodhisattva's ultimate goal as one of the extraordinary altruism and spiritual attainment. Thus, perfections serve as the bedrock for spiritual development, particularly for those on the path to Buddhahood. The cultivation of perfections are linked to different levels of attainment, whether Buddha, Paccekabuddha, or Sawaka. The cultivation of perfections is not the liberatory exercise, but also a transformative process that ensures the rising of virtue. For the Bodhisattva, this day marks the significant milestone in his journey, reflecting the culmination of countless lifetimes with great aspiration, effort, compassion, and wisdom. The synthesis of past endeavors and professions underscores their indispensable roles in the rising of virtue for the attainment of higher spiritual states. Past practices and attainment in meditation, jhanas, and abhinya provide the cumulative foundation, operating the latent conditions that manifest when the appropriate circumstances align. Complementing this, the cultivation of perfection emerges as the transformative and enduring process tailored to the aspirational goal of the Sammasambuddha, Vajrabuddha, and Savakas. Particularly for the Bodhisattva, the deliberate postponement of the path and fruition reflects the profound commitment of perfecting parami for the ultimate realization of Buddhahood and the welfare of all sentient beings. Together, these elements form the intricate framework of marrying wisdom and aspiration that not only facilitate the rising of Buddhahood but also illuminates the broader path to liberation and spiritual fulfillment. The critical roles of effort. The next condition to be examined is the pivotal role of effort in spiritual progress toward liberation. Effort encompasses the active endeavor to discard unwholesome state while cultivating wholesome ones. Thus, fostering ethical and mental purification is also involves the systematic practice of establishing the mind in higher state of concentration and insight. Firstly, efforts play the pivotal role in the spiritual life, serving as the cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. Furthermore, as mentioned in the Visuddhimagga, it is the root of all attainments. In addition, it is one of the 5 foundations that supports and develops the mind. Such deliberate cultivation fosters a steady and purposeful movement towards spiritual goals. Moreover, effort serves as the foundation that supports and sustains any significant achievement on the spiritual path. It is recognized as one of the bases of success. In spiritual practice, energy, when combined with concentration and volitional strivings, become the driving force enabling practitioners to progress. From mental tranquility to dispassion, cessation, peace, direct knowledge, enlightenment, and ultimately nibbana. The indispensable role of great effort is exemplified in the Buddha's own journey to awakening, as narrated in the Ariyalila Sutta. The pivotal function of effort in each role in each of the jhana, where it combats the inner hindrances of the mind and facilitates liberation, it is vividly demonstrated in the case of Venerable Mahamoggallana, whose unyielding effort led to his attainment of liberation. Thus, effort is evident in its role in overcoming obstacles and achieving supreme goals. The critical importance of diligent effort in achieving spiritual progress is underscored by cases where individuals endowed with sufficient conditions fail to obtain supramundane attainments due to negligence or inadequate practice. The narrative of Treasurer Mahadana and his wife illustrates this principle poignantly. Despite possessing the potential for spiritual attainments, including arahantship, anagami, and sakadagami at various stages of their life, youth, middle age, and old age, they squandered this opportunity through complacency. Consequently, they concluded their life in destitution, reduced in the state of poverty and beggary. Similarly, the case of Pesa serves as an admonitory example. Although possessing the capacity for the fruition of stream entry, his lack of effort and premature departure before completing the Buddha's teaching precluded his attainment. This cautionary account highlights the indispensable role of sustained effort and disciplined practice in advancing along the path to liberation, demonstrating that the mere possession of supporting conditions without corresponding effort is sufficient for realization transformative spiritual goal. Let's move to the influence of spiritual friendship. In the pursuit of spiritual growth, the value of associating with good friends cannot be overstated. Spiritual friendship is not merely an adjunct to the path. It is very heart and essence. This importance is captured in the exchange between the Buddha and his attendant, Venerable Ananda, recorded in the Upadhyaya Sutta, that good friendship is the whole of the spiritual life. This concept underscores the role of spiritual friendship, one of the factors that support the rising of wisdom and liberation. In the guidance to Megiddo, the Buddha taught that a bhikkhu who has good friends, companions, and comrades possesses the first condition for maturation on the path to liberation. Similarly, the Buddha elsewhere highlighted the unparalleled importance of spiritual friendship, asserting, Bhikkhu, I do not see even a single thing that leads to continuation, non-decline, and non-disappearance of the good Dharma as good friendship. In addition, many beings, even though with sufficient perfections to achieve the wholesome karma of past knowledge, cannot realize this attainment without guidance. For instance, Venerable Anyansikoranya, despite years of rigorous ascetic practice, reached enlightenment only after receiving the Buddha's direct instruction. Similarly, Venerable Sariputta attained the stream entry only by hearing the concise, profound teaching by Venerable Asaji, while Venerable Mahabhukalana relied on Sariputta's subsequent explanation of the same teaching. This principle highlights a universal truth for disciples of the Buddha. The guidance of spiritual friend is essential. Without such a friend, learning and practicing the Dharma effectively become the other endeavor, let alone attain the stages of path and fruition. Conversely, associating with bad friends can obstruct spiritual progress and lead to bad consequences. Hence, the Buddha stated that, Bhikkhu, I do not see a single thing that leads to decline and disappearance of the good Dharma and bad friendship. For instance, Ajatasattu's association with Devadatta, the malevolent companion, ultimately led him to commit the realm of parricide. This hindered, despite Ajatasattu's spiritual potential, obstructed his attainment of stream entry, even when the Buddha expounded the profound teachings of the Samanyaphala Sutta. Associating with bad friends thus predisposes individuals to harmful actions, leading to descent into lower ranks of existence and forfeiting the opportunity for liberation. The choice of virtuous friends holds critical importance in spiritual journey, as they exert the influence of personal development and ultimate spiritual fulfillment. Their presence can either foster wholesome growth or facilitate progress along the path to liberation. Associating with wise and virtuous individuals ensure access to essential guidance, support, and aspiration, all of which are indispensable for overcoming challenges inherent in spiritual practice. The general condition for the rising of Gochabu underscore the intricate interplay of ethical discipline, mental refinement, and spiritual ascension in fostering the raw work for higher attainments. Each of these elements contributes to the practitioner's gradual refinement, creating the optimal environment for the transition moment of Gochabu. Jivavrutti consciousness establishes a karmic and cognitive foundation that supports spiritual progress, while past endeavors and perfections represent accumulative virtues and quality cultivated over countless lifetimes. Effort as the driving force of spiritual practice propels the practitioner forward, overcoming hindrances and fostering resilience. Avoiding obstacles and objections ensures the continuity of progress by mitigating factors that can derail the journey toward liberation. Finally, spiritual friendship highlights the relational dimension of practice, emphasizing the significance of guidance and inspiration from virtuous friends. Because of the time limit, can I present the specific condition in short? In the Theravada tradition, meditation practices collectively referred to as mental development encompass a diverse area of techniques aimed at cultivating mental discipline and insight. These practices are broadly categorized into two primary forms, tranquility meditation and insight meditation. Within this framework, this transformative moment of Gochabu signifying a critical transition from sense sphere to the exalted sphere in the context of samatha, or from the mundane to the supramundane in the context of vipassana, can manifest through the attainment of jhana, abhinya, magga, and nirodha samadhi. This session investigates the specific conditions underlying the rising of Gochabu across three dimensions. One, within samatha, in the attainment of jhana state and abhinya, 2. Within Vipassana, in the progression from insight to the realization of the first Magga. And 3. Through the integrated practice of both, culminating in the attainment of cessation. This analysis underscores the beneficial role of meditation in nurturing the requisite conditions for approachable illuminating its transformative function within the broader journey toward liberation. In the jhana state, Gotchabu just arises in 30 meditation subjects that lead to Apinya. And Gotchabu arises only in 26 plans accommodating the rebirth of Tihetuka, including 7 Kama Sugati and 15 Rupa Vachana Bhumi. And it needs the necessity, the suitable subject, plans, and Tihetuka Patisandhi. In the mundane Apinya, it must be achievement in 8 meditative attainment and 5 kinds of mastery, and also Gotchabu manifests in access, concentration, and inclined towards various objects, contingent on specific type of direct knowledge, and it needs strong resolution. And the person is Tihetuka in 7 Kama Sugati and 15 Rupa Vachana Bhumi. In the Vipassana, it needs to develop Vipassana up to Sikkhapada Sankarupekha Jnana, and the importance of develop the Vipassana Samadhi or Vipassana Jnana. And in Vipassana, Gotchabu just arises before the first Magga. And in Vipassana, they need Tihetuka in 7 Kama Sugati and 10 Rupa Vachana Bhumi. In Nirodha Samapatti, the condition needed achieved by Anagami and Arahant possesses the 8 attainments, and it requires both Samatha and Vipassana practices, and the establishment of 4 preparatory resolutions. In Nirodha Samadhi, it needs 7 Kama Sugati and 15 Rupa Vachana Bhumi. In the special cases, Magga-siddha. This session I just find out, so I will look at page 23. Special cases, Magga-siddha and Upapatti-siddha. The previous analysis highlight the necessity for individuals to practice methodically in the present life to attain jhana and apinya. However, there are exceptional cases where the attainment of jhana and apinya is achieved through the attainment of the path and rebirth into Brahma worlds. Lady Sayadaw categorizes this type of attainment as Magga-siddha, attainment succeeded by the path, and Upapatti-siddha, attainment succeeded by rebirth. The first type, Magga-siddha, refers to the attainment of jhana and apinya up to the path. Example includes the attainment of arahantship by the 5 harassment mentioned in the Mahasamaya Sutta, and the attainment of arahantship by Venerable Chulabandhaka. Furthermore, such individuals are endowed with strong supporting conditions, and when their accumulated merits is sufficient, they also miraculously obtain the requisites in the presence of the Buddha by Ehi Bhikkhu ordination. The second type, Upapatti-siddha, pertains to the meditative attainment automatically acquired by rebirth in the Brahma worlds. The 8 meditative attainments of 5 material and immaterial jhanas lead to rebirth in the 5 material sphere and the immaterial sphere, respectively. According to Lady Sayadaw, when beings are reborn in this realm, these realms on attainment achieved in previous life are automatically conferred upon Rupa beings, while only one attainment naturally occurs for immaterial Brahma beings. For these 2 special cases, Gotchabu automatically arises without the need of gradual development. These sponsored attainments are the direct results of individuals' strong accumulated merits and the past cultivation of meditative attainments. This analysis acknowledges exceptional cases where this attainment is achieved to the path and rebirth into the Brahma worlds. This dual categorization of Magga-siddha and Upapatti-siddha provides an inclusive understanding of varied pathways to advance meditative states. The specific condition for the arising of virtue reveals the intricacy of meditative practices within the Theravada tradition, where the arising through the refined focus of samatha, the penetrating insight of vipassana, or the dual practice required for cessation, which serves as a transformative pivot to the journey toward liberation. Furthermore, the exploration of exceptional cases such as Magasiddha and Ubhabhatisiddha highlights the multifaceted nature of Gochabu, offering insights into both deliberate and spontaneous pathways to higher achievements. This examination affirms Gochabu's role as a cornerstone in the progression from the mundane to the supramundane, ultimately paving the way toward Nibbana. Let me conclude my paper. This investigation into the conditions and pathways lead to the rising of Gochabu underscores its central role as a transformative juncture in the journey towards spiritual liberation. This research has elucidated the intricate interplay of foundational factors such as Tihatuka Bhattacandhi, Viriya, Kalyanamitta, and Parami, all of which coalesce to nurture the conditions necessary for the rising of Gochabu. The analysis also demonstrates the multifaceted nature of spiritual progress, emphasizing the significance of ethical conduct, mental cultivation, and insight. The avoidant obstacle, whether karmic defilement related or arising from inborn deficiency, emerges as a critical component in the revelatory stages of meditative development. Furthermore, the dual requirement for Gochabu across distinct meditative contexts, whether in jhana, mundana vipassana, or nirodha samapatti, highlight the need of balance and methodical practice. These conditions are intricately tied to the practitioner's rebirth condition, cognitive faculties, and accumulated merit. The research also sheds light on exceptional cases such as Magasiddha and Ubhabhatisiddha, where advanced meditative attainments are spontaneous convert to the path or rebirth into Brahma realms. Such instances underscore the profound impact of prior achievements, illustrating alternative pathways to higher attainments. In conclusion, the rising of Gochabu is neither an isolated event nor an incidental occurrence, but a combination of ethical refinement, intellectual clarity, and meditative development. By harmonizing effort, wisdom, and wholesome association, practitioners cultivate the conditions necessary for transcending the ordinary and embracing the supramundane. This study reaffirms the profound interconnectedness of the foundational spiritual principles in facilitating the transformative life embodied by Gochabu and paves the way for deeper exploration into its pivotal role within the broader framework of Buddhist meditative practices and attainment. Eventually, when both general and specific conditions are fully mature, the rising of Gochabu marks the pivotal transformative moment, propelling practitioners toward higher meditative attainments and ultimately the supreme realization of Nibbana. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much, Yamina, for a beautiful and interesting presentation. So now it is time for question and answer session. So we are kindly request the respected Dean CRO, Professor CROs and teachers and students to give their suggestion and comments.
also your writing, your organization is good. So I have only one question and two suggestions. And the question is your introduction. In your introduction, second paragraph, last 4 lines. Okay, second paragraph, last 4 lines. Each method demonstrates unique conditions for the arising of this transformative movement. While Theravada tradition offers detailed guidance on the practice of tranquility meditation and aside meditation, the precise condition needed to the rising of water will remain insufficiently understood. So you try to mention the gap in the existing literature. And then continuously, the last paragraph, despite its centrality in Buddhist philosophy, the condition necessary for the rising of water have not been systematically explored in existing scholarship. And continuously, while Buddhist texts frequently elaborate on the meaning of function of water rule, there remain a lacuna in understanding the endowment of condition that facilitate its arising. So you mentioned 3 sentences in order to find the gap. But here, to use the white Theravada tradition in the first, the second paragraph, and then the Buddhist philosophy, and then Buddhist text. So when you are writing this paper, that writing is based on the Theravada tradition or the other tradition. Including the other tradition. Here, the white Theravada tradition offers detailed guidance on the practice of tranquility meditation and meditation. The precise condition needed to arising of water will remain insufficiently understood. In the Theravada literature, there is no sufficient information about the water rule. You mean like that, or what do you mean by that?
That means collectively the supporting condition is not mentioned.
Not mentioned in the Theravada text.
They mention, but just separately, not in.
And then where did you take the other information in order to fill the gap in the existing literature?
In the sutta and commentary and sub-commentaries.
Yeah, there is also Theravada tradition, right?
Yeah.
Not from the Mahayana, not from the other Buddhist tradition.
Yes, sir.
You focus on the Theravada tradition.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So that's not very clear. Because you use Theravada tradition of deeply guided, but still insufficient about the information of water.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question. And then, second, question number second in the introduction, the last paragraph. Only the usage of last paragraph, last 3 lines, the CRO. Including the CRO, Mahasi CRO, Minimum CRO, and Nalamala CRO. So if you use the place and the society, and also the neighborhood industry, you can use any CRO because any is the place. Okay. Mahasi CRO, Mahasi is the meditation center. Minimum CRO, Minimum is the village name, the Minimum CRO. But Nalamala CRO, so we very rarely use like that. So CRO should come first. If we use his own name, okay, his own name. CRO, so because we use his own name, so we should put the CRO in front of before the name before his own name. CRO.
Yes,
okay, the last one is page number 7. Nine. Page number 9 is very interesting. And the first endeavors and perfection. Okay. Yoga and Aparati. So you explain very well. Before that title, you use the bibliothèque paragraph of previous session in overcoming spiritual obstacles. Okay, and and Avarana. This is an obstacle of the thinking of the higher stage. And there is
Thank you, Sarabhaya.
Your Viva is good Vivas, very interested Viva because your reasons about the Gotrabu arises at a very short moment. Moment. But if you correct here in the there, so you present about the Gotrabus. Very wonderful feedback, wonderful things. Now so your third seminar topic is investigating the essential condition for the arising of the the condition for the arising of the you present the condition in this paper, how why the Gotra arises in the city of the Jhana, etc. There was I will give you some suggestion and sometimes I will pose the question to you.
Yes, Sarabhaya.
Firstly, I want to point out some one usage and you are under stress. You are under stress. Here in the first paragraph, fourth line,
Which page number, Sarabhaya?
abstract.
Yes.
Abstract fourth line that you see, the avoiding of obstacles and the influence of spiritual apprenticeship, the Kalyana Veda. Regarding the Kalyana Vedas, you translated the Kalyana Veda as spiritual apprenticeships. Yes, in your paper, I found the spiritual usage in many places. For example, page number 8 in the spiritual practice, and page number 9 spiritual attainment, page number 10 spiritual contribution, page number 25 spiritual liberation, page number 26 spiritual principles like this. So, what's the meaning? What does the spiritual means here? According to the Vasakalyanam Veda, the famous translators, the Bhikkhu body, translated Kalyanam Veda, God apprenticeship. God apprentices. So also the Nyama translators, Siaji Ujiji, Ukimokla, Ubade. These famous translators also used translated the Kalyanam Veda as God company, company companionships, having got a companion like this. And so also, Pali English Dictionary, by the right division, he used got a companions, virtuous friend, honest friends, pure friends, like this, he used. And the concept Pali English Dictionary, Leonardo is translated as got a companions, honest friends. There was a spiritual. This was the presence and the meaning of Kalyana or knows. I want to know. Because it is used in many places here, spiritual practice, spiritual attainment, spiritual progress, spiritual cultivation, spiritual liberation, spiritual principles like this. That I want to suggest you. You should use the vocabulary used by the author, the translators and papers one. To understand clearly what does mean like this here. Therefore, I suggest you choose the suitable translation for the clear and make that.
Yes,
Because I understand that here, some use the spirituals in the case of the Lokotra like this. And the spirituals may be mental sometimes, because I see is in some place the cultivation. Here you use the inhibition, you use the spiritual cultivation. But here's the inner conclusion. Second paragraph, you use the mental cultivation. Therefore, I want to suggest you to use the same words in every cases, in your papers. Okay, let's go to and page 4, general condition for the arising of God level. And the first paragraph. Six lines, including the presence of triplets rooted consciousness in regard recently. Triplets rooted consciousness in regard recently. To present clearly the meaning of the recently, and then you should add another words here. Triplets rooted because linking consciousness.
Yes, it up here.
You shall add another words. P duga recently. And the purpose of purification, the word P duga recently is translated as the right conditioned concept version or exposition, the Damascene translation, exposition, translated it here. There is a conditioned conception. The path of purification, given it is a translation, traverse root, cause, rebirth, linking. like this. So also the bhikkhu body given here the comprehensive meaning of the Abhidhamma, bhikkhu body, set of bhikkhu body is given, it is a translation. Those with a triple rooted rebirth consciousness, like this. Therefore, so you need to add another set of words, triple rooted rebirth regains consciousness, rebirth regain here, to complete the meaning of the Dietuka, peace and deed.
Yes, yeah.
Now, in this page also, second time the root of triple root is Vasi, D is Dukkha Pokala. D is Dukkha Pokala. When I search the word D Dukkha Pokala in the Pitaka, I didn't find such a word. D is Dukkha Pokala. You should check again.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Whether it is or not the Dukkha Pokala in the Pitakas. And at page 9, first endeavor Pokala, Boga Yoga and the perceptions Barami. In this paragraph, this section is brought the rope of the past endeavor and perfection, and is just a quality for reaching highest attainment, which has developed over countless lifetimes. These are as the requirement for the rising of the water at a different level. And these are the babies, the past endeavor and the perfection, and then here they refer to the past endeavor and the perfection, and then this has as the requirement for the rising of water at a different level. You may see it's a different level here, whether in meditative exhaustion and then the jhana maybe.
Yes.
There is knowledge of Vijna, genuine of cessation, Niroda Samapati, path of Vega, fruition, Pala and Nibbana. You gave here the words of Nibbana. Why Nibbana is required for the rising of the water? Because I understand that Nibbana is the object of the Gotterabu. Gotterabu has a Nibbana as it is object. I understand like this.
Yes.
This is my understanding here in this place. And then page 10, I have already mentioned in the abstract, but I will repeat again here in page 10, the second line, the spiritual cultivation. In the conclusion you use instead of spiritual cultivation, mental cultivation is used in the conclusion. Therefore, so you need to chase the two be the same vocabularies, the same words here. And then in page 16, specific condition for the arising of water you present in this place here, so the police, the God records it, no? So the year, in the China Witi, how to say the year? China Witi, Sama Pichina Witi, Abinya Witi, Nirada Samapati Witi, Sadapati Mega Witi, there was a Godfrey who is used. But in the highest mega, use the water now.
Yes, Sada, yeah.
Why the name is changed into the water now? I want to know.
Yes, because Gochabu function is change the lineage. That means change from the Karma to Rupa, or change from the Bhutuchana to Magga. So it occurs only in the first Magga. In other higher attainment, they function already chain of lineage. So another function before that line is function in the higher Magga.
What's the meaning? Wadana means?
The word Vodana means purification.
Oh.
Purification.
Purification.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, processes the mind. For example, the Sadagati Megawiti first comes the Anuloma, and then water, water level, and then Mega, like they say. Nuloma, what objects Nuloma has, and what objects water level?
Yeah, Anuloma can take different kinds of objects, whether Panyati, Sankhara, or Nibbana.
The Godrabus has Nibbana as it is object. Okay?
Gochabu also different kinds of object.
Different kinds of object.
Yeah.
And at page 21, and a condition for the arising of the Godrabu in Nirodasmapati. Nirodasmapati translated as the attainment of cessation, referred to a specific meditative state where there is the cessation of both the perception and the feeling, Sinya Vidita. Sinya Vidita. Here you mention the cessation of both perception and the feeling, Sinya and the Vedana. According to the Sita Kanda Vaga Vinavadiga, volume 2, page 382, the Diga mentioned that Nugoba Niro Davasina Chetas Chispika Aboti Yiva Senya Vedna Sisena Senya Vedita Niro Danti Ojati. Then Niro Dasamapati the cessation of the Chitta and the Chitika or mental aggregates. Now all this is Senya and the Vedana. two Namakhandas presented in but you can use the given the reason that why the cessation also supposes the passage in the place as a given like this, you should give it the reason.
Yes,
And according to the Silakanda Binuadika, Silakanda Binuadika, the mission and Nuba Dinodaosi, Cheta Chizika, Apoti Yuba, Senya Wedana, Sise na, grossly another Senya Wedana. Cheta Chizika also included here. That was you said again here in this translation. Okay, thank you so very much for your presentation. Your presentation is very useful. So, thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Bhikkhuni Ariyalila, you are similar knowledge, you are speaking the essential condition for arising of good truth. Essential condition you mentioned here. So when you explain about the essential condition, so according to your contents, you mentioned general condition, specific condition, two conditions, and also special cases.
Yes.
Do you mean these three are special condition for Buddhism? Why do you like that?
Yeah. Only the special case is, the good trouble is automatic arise without another condition.
And also in the page number 2, the last line, the last two lines, lady zero, masi zero, lady zero, that's okay. Masi zero, memo zero, if you use memo zero, we may confuse which memo zero. Memo zero is not only one in our country. So that is what if you go. If you look at memo zero is the reader may understand.
Yes,
If you
definitely.
say that if you look at memo zero, that's the only one. And also page number 4, the first paragraph. The first paragraph, the last line, avoidance of spiritual obstacles. You mentioned here avoidance of spiritual obstacles. But in the page number 6, the title you mentioned overcoming spiritual obstacle. But I think during the practice of Vipassana, during the practice of meditation, the meditator may face some kinds of obstacle. So that is why he cannot avoid. So that is why with his meditation, he must overcome.
Yes.
I think overcoming is better than avoidance. So there are two translations. But this title, overcoming spiritual obstacle, under Raya in Avarana, but you do not mention about Avarana. If you want to use this Pali word, you should mention overcoming spiritual obstacle and obstruction.
Yes.
And then in that page, the last 3 line, Bhikkhuni Dusaka Dhamma. translation accusing a virtuous man. So Dusaka, the translation Dusaka, here sometimes describing or spoiling, but here some are saying rape, Bhikkhuni. So there is one, there are different lines of translation. And also, in the Tamil and Yuras Mabati, let's go based on that 22. And page number 22. The middle paragraph, Division 4 resolution, even around Basel and Agami Basel, if they want to pay Yuras Mabati, they must follow these rules, these prior rules, 4 resolution. 4 resolution, the first one, the second one. The second one, that you will emerge if this subject is Pagwaya by the Sangha. Sangha, so according to here we use Sang, S-A, and law. So Sangha. And also you mentioned Bhaga. Sometimes the formula Bhaga, you mentioned as endeavor. Sometimes we use prior effort. In the Visudhimagga, the translator, he used the prior effort. So in the previous slide, he was already practiced meditation.
Yes.
So there is one yoga, prior effort, prior. So that is why, if we understand yoga, so that is why in this very life, even though we may not take any kinds of mega or but our practice is not useless,
Yes.
very useful
Yes.
in the next life. So that is why, as much as we can, we should practice meditation. So
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Ariyalila, for your very beautiful presentation. Also very informative. It provides us with the knowledge regarding the Golden Rule. So Golden Rule plays a very important role in the path to the liberation. So that's why we need to know what are the conditions for the rising of the Golden Rule. So your findings are very good. So in your paper, you provided your findings, what the general foundation factors, okay, and also specific conditions. So for the rising of the Golden Rule, so it's a very good and also very informative. So one other point I'd like to suggest you is that the way in this paper, what I found is there is a hypothesis. That hypothesis, you make it that only when these conditions are met, then what will arise. Okay? So that hypothesis is a conditional hypothesis. So you approach this perspective. That's why in your, even though you don't mention that way, but it means in that manner. So that's why I would like to encourage you to say somewhere in your introduction about this article or this chapter. So this chapter try to answer, try to provide, try to prove, okay, this hypothesis. conditional hypothesis and also try to defend this conditional hypothesis. So because the conditions are well provided there. So then regarding the Kotarabu, as we know, Kotarabu is a kind of a game changer. Okay, it changed from the karma level to the Mahagata level, as well as it changed from the Buddhajana level to the Noble Ariya level. So this is extremely important moment. But if we look at the ultimate reality, it is this jhana, even though it is named as a Kotarabu because it's a specific function, but the same jhana, for example, Mahakusala Jnana Samyuta jhana, okay, so like a Parikama, Upajara, Anuloma, they are also the same jhana.
Yes.
Kotarabu also, that's a kind of a jhana. So four Kamavajana Javanas are there. Okay. So these four Kamavajana Javanas, they, according to their specific functions, they give a different names. Okay. So in your paper, I have just a little bit time to read roughly here and there. So let's go to the page number 17. 17, there is a jhana. We go to specific conditions for the rising of the Kotarabu. There, under the past subtitle, there you provide condition for the rising of the Kotarabu in jhana states. Yeah. So this paper is mainly talking about the Kotarabu. Okay. But after Kotarabu, it will be followed. Kotarabu will be followed by the jhana. That's why you try to say jhana. That is okay. But the point I want to get more information for you to put here is on that paragraph. Condition for the rising of Kotarabu in the jhana. Yes, you are right. 30. Among the 40 meditation, only 30 meditation subjects. So you make good advice. Okay. Then what I want to know is why these 10 meditation subjects cannot provide a better condition for the good to arise. Okay. Jhana, because they cannot attain the jhana, that's why if there is no jhana, there is no good, there is a fine. Okay. But also it will be jhana is a much later stage. So the point I want you to add is why these meditation subjects fail to give a better condition for the arising of the Buddha. Okay. For the rising of this quality consciousness. Okay. Kamavajara consciousness. So if we can find that will be very good and also more logical and more reasonable. So that is one point. So in that, after reading these headings, what I can understand is that to change the grade, it means to change our status from the sensual being up to the jhanic being. So then we need to have a kind of right condition. Okay. So also right subjects, we should be right person, also we should be in the right place.
Yes.
Okay. So that way, if you can make it, then that will also more clear. So sometimes when we are reading, we confuse. Are you talking about the Kotarabu or are you talking about the jhana or something like that? Because they are inseparable.
Yeah.
So what I want is you put more emphasis on the Kotarabu.
Yes.
Okay. So Kotarabu can arise only when there is right condition, take the right subjects, Also for the right person, also only in the right places. Okay? So that way would be much better. So also on the page number 18, so there you move to the Avinyana. So Avinyana, so as you know already, so in the Megata Jhana level, that meditator practitioner already changed from the karma since we are being up to the jhani being. Okay, Megata being. So does he still need if we want to attain avinyana, is there any role that Gotarabu can play? Because Gotarabu is changing the lineage, changing the position, changing the status. Because he is already in that state, already. Because before he entered avinyana, he already in the jhana. To emerge from the jhana and prepare for the avinyana. Then there is a vijnana. So do we still need to have a good level there?
Yeah.
So that can you explain a little bit about that? Vijnana, good level to vijnana.
Yeah. In the Abhinya, that means Gochabu have the condition must be fulfilled, attend the 8 attainment, Rupachana and Arupachana, especially Rupachana, and 5 kind of Vasi, mastery, and resolution. Yeah, it needed. Because in the, I mentioned in Abhinya because in the mental process, which will appear in the Abhinya.
Before the avinya. So in the thought process, if you write it out, in thought process, avinyana is there.
Yeah.
Okay, before the avinyana, there what kind of data?
It's Parikamma, Upachara, Anuloma, and Gochabu.
Good.
Yes.
So can we say like this Brikama Vijana Niloma Kudaragu, or can we simply say Brikama all of them?
Can be said, yes, sir. Yeah.
So because in the Padana also there you can see Idivida Janasa, Brikama, Idivida Janasa. Devasa Chakos, what is that? So before this is in Anandara Pachaya, so this Abhinyana is supported condition by the preparation. Okay? So there in that specific Padana test, for the Edivida Janasa, Parikama, Edivida Janasa, Anandara Pachaya, Pachaya, like that. Okay? So they are simply mentioned Parikama, not Godara.
Yes.
Okay, there is but in the previously, maybe in the previous sentences in that Padana, they are mentioned Lomba, Gudara Bosa, Gudara Buvoda, Nasa, like that. So that can we apply this one as a Gudara support Abhinyana to arise by means of Anandara or Parikama support Avinyana to rise.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That one I want you to make it sure.
Yeah.
Okay? So that point. So that yeah. And also on the page number 19, Vipassana is there, that is okay. So the point I'd like to mention is here is on the page number 20, the second paragraph. So there you put, you emphatically mention that what the presence of a right view, samadhi or wisdom. So play an important role for the rising of the Buddha. Okay? So there you mention that in your statement, and then it's okay. But then you cook it, you give a reference to the king Kosala, okay, and then from the Kosala Samyuta. So, in that case, I checked 66, but Kulu number 66, they are what I call it, Kosala Samyuta, the whole Samyuta you refer to. Then the point I let to encourage you is try to examine, okay, examine the positive reference of the Kosala, King Kosala, okay,
Yeah.
from Sutta by Sutta. This is Samyuta. And then you will see clearly his positive reference.
Yeah.
His mind is not inclined to the liberation, to the nirvana. So as far as I understand, most of the Sutta, he is more interested in the present welfare, happiness in this very life, also welfare, happiness in the next life. That much his interest.
Yeah.
So the point I like to tell you here is, if you change this reference, instead of Kosala, you put another one, which is a more obvious one. So because of the lack of, even though he is the right person, okay, in the right condition, he met with a good friend, like the Buddha, but he don't practice in meditation, vipassana meditation, that's why he don't get any what Buddha does not arise there.
Yeah.
So also, you can also give, I think, in the Susima Sutta, okay? That Susima Sutta is opposite way, because there is a vipassana jnana, okay, pass, and then after it is followed by the nirvana, okay, that and realization of the nirvana. So it means vipassana jnana leads to the attainment of the nirvana. So this one, if you put it Kosala, so because you unintentionally ignore his positive preference. So rather you put a blunt complaint to the King Kosala, because he don't practice the vipassana. That's why there is no good rise for him. So that, and then if you can change, that would be much better. So that much I have read. Overall, you are finding very good general conditions for the rising of the Buddha-Ragu, and also specific conditions for the rising of the Buddha-Ragu, and also implication. Those are also very good. So thank you so much for your hard work and also beautiful presentation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for your very informative paper. We get a lot of knowledge regarding your papers. Your main title is analytical study of Buddha and Pali literature. This is the last presentation. Your name is Ariyalila. Very beautiful name. Do you know the meaning of your name?
It's Nuba Charming.
No, but very beautiful. Okay. Very interesting. Actually, the subject you write is a very profound, very understood subject, very profound subject. Good to go. And also, I appreciate your effort because you write a debate only, let me say, only one word. Very, very difficult to understand. And also, your presentation is very good. So English, no need to say how high it is. So good to take, Guru Jeta here also
Epostata. Gocharuchita is according to, because I find out the Gochabu, actually Gochabu in mundane, but Gochabuchita includes form Mahakusala and form Mahakiraya Jnana Samujata. In the case of Arahant perform Abhinya.
Yeah, if they have the, if they become Arahant, okay, before Arahant, how we say, before becoming Arahant, Guru is Mande or Supra Mande.
It's mundane.
Mande.
Yeah.
Mande, how do you know that? Pitama. Yeah, Pitama, it is a local Prajina and Nivana Ramnani, you know. Local Prajina, Nivana Ramnani. The Supramanic consciousness, the only Supramanic consciousness is the Nivana. This is a general translation. Supramanic consciousness is the Nivana. It is a set in Vidama. So even though Buddha Vujita is manic consciousness, why does it take the Nivana as its object? Why?
Gochabu take Nibbana as object Sadhya.
Yeah, the object of Nivana, yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Didn't know why. So yeah, according to Vidama, Lokutra Jita ni Nivana Ramnani. Nivana Ramnani. Yeah, in Vidama it is a set, yeah. Only Supramanic consciousness takes the Nivana as their object. Yeah, it is said in Vidama. Yeah, even though this Buddha Jitas, yeah, before horizons, before the appearance of Mega Jitas, Buddha Jitas only mandate, yeah. But in the thought process in Mega Witi, yeah, in Mega Path consciousness, Path thought process, Buddha Jitas takes the Nivana as it is object, yeah. But at the time, like Buddha is the only mandate, not a super mandate. So even though it is a mandate, why does it take the Nirvana as its object?
Because when Gochabu arises, automatically the Magga will arise.
That's why.
Follow it.
Okay. So what is the difference between the object? A difference of what Buddha Jita takes the Nirvana and the Magga Jita takes the Nirvana. What is the difference?
Gochabu take Nibbana as object as Tadanga Nibbana, and Magga is, I forgot the name.
Okay. Okay, actually, your presentation, your premise is very good. Thank you very much for your complete papers.
Thank you, Sarabhya.
Bhikkhuni Ariyalila, your presentation is very beautiful. Writing also very beautiful and very clear. So, a little, because your presentation is very good, so a few things I want to point out and ask one question. So, Sierraji also just now pointed out one word regarding Kalyana Maida. So Sierraji pointed out the word spiritual. I want to be point out is a friendships, Maida and friendships. So usually we translate this word as a good friend or a good company, referring to a person, not friendship. So I think you should check for the translation of the word as a friendship or friend. And this is the one thing. And you explained a lot about Good Rabu relating to the Jhana, Abhinyana, and Nirodha Samapatti. But I think this Good Rabu can arise in the attainment of Jhana Samapatti, and also in the attainment of Phala Samapatti. As maybe sometimes it can change its name from the Buddha-Rabu to Vodana. So why didn't you touch any Buddha-Rabu in those Jhana Samapatti and Phala Samapatti?
Because Gochabu appear only especially in this process. In other cases like the Chana Samapatti or Phala Samapatti, it's other name. That's why I don't use Gochabu. In Phala Samapatti is Anuloma, not Gochabu. Anuloma. Anuloma 4 times, and then instead of Parikama Anuloma, is used 4 times Anuloma.
And so, in the Jhana Samapatti, but the other, Phala Samapatti or the Sotapatti Phala or Sakatagami Phala and Nagami Phala, so all stages of the other, earlier stages of Sotapatti Phala, Sakatagami Phala, Nagami Phala also can be interned as a attainment of Phala Samapatti. So in those stages, also I think a good Rabu can arise with a different name or Wadana. So I think, in my opinion, so you should explain because you didn't write about those things, given a reason.
Yeah.
Because you don't mention these things, given the reason why you don't mention here. So although you found these good rules arising in those Jhana Samapatti and Phala Samapatti. And on page number 10, it is a very minor one, not serious one. So the last paragraph and the last line, moreover, the perfection of the attainments of Sama Sambuddha, Pajika Buddha, Chief Disciple, Akasawaka, Great Disciple, Mahasawaka, or Ordinary Disciple, Bhagati Sawaka, and up to Bhagavati Law and Gosama. Okay, so I want you to explain something. Why didn't you mention the translation of Sama Sambuddha and Pajika Buddha, although you mentioned other translation of Akasawaka as well?
Because this term is very familiar with everybody.
But for the only Buddhists and some people can be familiar with those things, not for the other non-Buddhists or other people who will not know the correct translation of those who are Sama Sambuddha and Pajika Buddha. What does Sama Sambuddha mean? Or what does Pajika Buddha mean?
Yeah.
I think you should insert the translation of those two words also. Okay, for me, that's all. For me, thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
Sarapaya.
presentation.
Thank you, Sarapaya.
Now on page 5, page 5, first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth line, page 5, the sixth line. Automatically, it is a result of conscious Vibhagajita that arises from Usa actions. Do you see?
Yeah.
You find there? Yeah, it is right. I think it is better to use. It is the result of consciousness that result from Usa actions. Yeah? Result, instead of using the rise. Yeah?
Yes.
You use to say the results from Usa actions. And also on page 6, this is not serious, but here you mentioned the weighted camera, Garuda camera, weighted camera, weighted camera on page 6. No, not a weighted camera, weighted camera, Garuda camera. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sarapaya.
Sorry, I have some questions and suggestions. So, the topic, analytic study of Kutrabu, Pali, and Pali literature. So, Buddha Bhumi, so you, I think, you mean the data consciousness, right? In fact, the word Buddha Bhumi can mean Buddha person also. Buddha person also. I don't know, you have discussed in the previous seminar paper or what. Okay, Buddha Bhumi not only data, but also person. It has other meaning also. So that is one point. Page number 6. Page number 6. And overcoming spiritual obstacles and prayer and our second paragraph. Second paragraph, fourth line. So, heinous actions, crimes. So known as Anarika, and what you do there, immediately and that include killing one mother, killing one brother. So what I want to know, this I think typical question, for example, in the Pali text also, Pali literature also we can see parents and children or offspring, they separate, they separate, they didn't meet each other, then when they met, so for example, that children or offspring kids, they unknown father and mother, unknowingly. So in such case, there can be such analiya, and now not. So at this point, I will speak it, I think so, for me. Okay, at this point also, I think we should. And then on the same page, the last three lines, moreover, abusing a virtuous man, Bhikkhuni, Karma, we have obstacle of obligation. So, for example, according to Theravada, Buddhism, there is no law in Bhikkhuni. According to Mahayana, there is still Bhikkhuni subject. But those, how to say, subject Mahayana Bhikkhuni, Theravada Bhikkhuni, who are not subjects, according to Myanmar and other Buddhist countries. So if someone, how to say, abuse such Mahayana Bhikkhuni, so what do you think? There can be such instruction or not?
In this case, abusing a virtuous nun means Arahant Bhikkhuni.
Arahant Bhikkhuni?
Yes.
So that's why the virtuous nun, Buddhism also can be virtuous, right? Can be virtuous. According to Pali literature, Upalawana was abused by his Nanda, his relative. Many people know. Okay, question number 11. Question number 11. Question number 11. In the paragraph, starting with notably, about Bodhisattva, for Buddhahood, his insight effort, the fourth line, his insight effort culminated at the ninth stage of insight knowledge, Sanarubikanyana, deliberately halting further progression toward path and fruition. with the power. According to Memos Yaro, this internationalization rooted in Prabhupada. Okay, about that. So, in the Majjhima Nikaya, Takata, and sub-commentary, and Uravinditi, Takata, differently mentioned, I would say, the stage of bodhisattva. So this point also I think you should discuss at least as a footnote. According to Majjhima Nikaya, Takata, bodhisattva stop, at the stage of Nulomanyana. That is also discussed widely by Masala. And according to Puravamiri Takata, at the stage of Kutu. So these are also not relevant. So that's why everybody is Sikapata, okay, Sankarupa Kanyana. It should be just before the Makawiti. Not this Kutu and Nulomanyana should not be within the Makawiti. Should be the process of Makawiti. Because in the stage of within the Makawiti, no one can stop, even Otaku. Because I had in some seminars, some shall say like this, because he is the Bodhisattva, he can stop. At the stage of Kutu without taking Sadabhadimana like this. So it is wrong in the Asura Dipandi, Kundala also discuss all this. So this point I think it will be better for you to discuss and get the footnote. Because then there arise some questions. Because we how to say many man's law and many are a statement and all of them have a statement. Okay? Now, page number 16. Page number 16. Condition for the rising of Kutubu in Jhana state, without paragraph. So, meditation subject or meditation object. Which is the meditation subject or meditation object? Which usage is correct?
Meditation subject.
Meditation subject is correct? Okay, because I am really confused. For me, I have understood meditation object because object the meditators use those one of the putting meditation objects or such as to develop, to cultivate instrumental qualities. So I understood that's why I ask you meditation subject or meditation object. Okay, page number 18. The last two lines of the first paragraph. So however, not all beginners require the attainment of alpachanas. Okay, so and then here you don't look generous because I think you should give which beginners do not need alpachanas. Which beginners need alpachanas. Okay. So some beginners need alpachanas, some beginners do not need alpachanas. So when you give a Musalimaka volume 2, page number 1 to 65. 1 to 65. Page number 1 to 65, a lot of pages. So reader cannot read. Okay. That's why I think not so many beginners. 5 beginners or 6 beginners, 7 beginners only. It will be better. We should mention separately. Okay. And then question number 19. 19, second paragraph. Second paragraph. Second paragraph in the last third line. Last third line. So reaching the perfect realization nirvana. Okay, so nirvana, I think I understand you translate nirvana as the perfect realization. Is it right? You translate nirvana as perfect realization.
Nibbana is temporary cessation.
Yeah, nirvana is just as Rasami also nirvana is not subject, should be nirvana just object. According to Ramanapachi also should be only object. If you say perfect realization, it will be like subject. Okay. So this one also you should consider. Now question number 21. Question number 21. Enter addition of the rising of Prabhu in Vyora Samapati. The last three lines. We know the Tanna and Arahants who practice pure insight, Sukha Vipassana. Okay? So your translation is partly Sukha Vipassana. Sukha means drawing. Okay, Vipassana. So pure insight. You translate Sukha as pure. So pure and Sukha not match. So Sukha means dry. Okay? So dry inside. This is fine. And then, so a person in that sentence cannot assess this attainment because they still possess sensual desire. So passing one's karma. They cannot attain Vipassana because they have stayed sensual desire. And it will be better because the reason is also given in the commentary in the Shinagabi also. So why? So they have sensual desire. What happened? Because sensual desire, and concentration which are used to attain Vipassana, they are opposite. Okay, so that reason you should probably be better. Okay, such sensual desire because sensual desire and concentration are opposite. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your very good writing ideas and very hardworking.
Thank you, Sarabhaya.
Okay, the next question. So question number 24. Question number 24 is very important one also. Question number 24, the past two lines. The past two lines. Why only one attainment naturally occurs for immaterial Brahma beings? So this is from Nutipata, written by Lady Sarah, okay? Lady Sarah. But what is one attainment? What is one? The body is Eka Eva Samapati. Eka Eva Samapati. In the Aruba plane, why only one Samapati? What is one Samapati? You have not explained. Okay, I want to know